over, like they need to get access to my Facebook to do certain things, and that really creeps me out that somebody I really don't know 12 hours away has my username and password. So anyways, they don't have my username and password because LastPass logs them in.
How do you vet these people?
Trust? You can't. I don't know. I can't. That's a good question. I really don't vet them. Like the girl that my full-time admin was ran a team for Amazon. She ran a call center of 30 people, and she was a team leader. University educated, speaks better English than me. I was just like, based on that alone, let's try her out. And so it's worked since. So, same way as how you would vet a real person in real life, just like gut feeling and your due diligence. I didn't really do much due diligence because I figured they could just make it all up, and I had no idea if that's even a real school, stuff like that, so I just kind of went with it. She seems good. Okay, so when I'm working with virtual assistants or anybody, a lot of this world is describing things. So I use this tool. It's called Jing, J-I-N-G, and I've talked about it a few times with you guys. It creates this little sun on your computer, and it allows you to record. So I'll record this, and I'll just hit capture video. You can't see, it's not counting down, it's at 0. Okay. Hey Jill, what I want you to do is log into my database, and so I want you to go to Facebook. So you're going to go to Facebook. Then over on the right somewhere, it's going to say birthdays. So here's some birthdays here. Click on the 2 others. Then what you do is scroll down to see upcoming birthdays. And then after that, go to next month. So scroll down past this month. And so for August, what I want you to do is highlight all this, copy it, open it in Excel, paste it, and then what I want you to do is take first name here, last name here, their date of birth here, I need their phone number and their email and their website, so you have to Google search their name plus the word real estate, and blah, blah, blah. So then, I made an instructional video. If I typed that all out, it would take me how long to type that out? Oh my god. So instead, I just made a video. If you want it done right, do it yourself. So I made that video, and there's a little button down here that says share via screencast. So when I hit that, it is uploading that video to the cloud. So I don't have to make this video, save it as an attachment, and email it to her. It's just creating this link, and I'll just text her on Skype. Or on Trello, that will be in the description of that project. And there's a video, step by step, showing what I want done. I use it for tech support. If you've ever been on the phone with somebody with tech support and they're like, well, log in here, click there. And you're like, click where? It's so hard. Well, I'll just do a video and show them the problem that I'm having, and then just send it to them. Yeah?
Is it different than Snag? Or do you
Right.
different
So, no.
Snag?
So, Jing, it's the same company. So there's 3 products. Jing is the free version. That's what I'm sharing with you now.
Oh, okay.
Jing does not allow you to save these videos and put them on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to save videos and put them on YouTube, then you're going to want to go with Snagit. Snagit's a one-time fee of $50. And then they have another one called Camtasia, which is either $200 if you're PC or $50 if you're Mac. And the difference between that is it allows you to record for like hours, plus do the editing and everything all in one program. So Snagit is more for like, I think 15 minutes or less. Jing is like same 10 or 15 minutes or less, but it's just literally, so that link just got copied onto my clipboard. And I would put it in the notes of the Trello, and when she clicks the link, there's the video there, right in Trello. I didn't have to upload it as a video or nothing. So I use that all the time. Another way that we use that tool was for seller feedback. So at the end of every week, we would show them, we would log right into the MLS, record the screen and say, hey Amy, I know no showings were booked this week. This was in a bad market, so I know no showings were booked. Yeah, I know no showings were booked this week, but we happen to show your property 3,000 times on the internet. So one thing I know is when that many people view your property because of our marketing, but nobody books a showing, it usually reflects price. So I want to show you all these new listings that just hit the market, and then I flip to the next tab and I'm showing her the listings. And then I say, look, these ones sold, they're very comparable, and look at the differences. This one's like 20,000, 30. So I'm creating a story to help the price reduction conversation in the future. If that's where you guys were at. I know you guys are just listing it and selling it. Price adjustment, yeah. So, but you can use it for a whole bunch of different examples. That's just one way that we do it. Another one is, say you're working with a husband and wife, and he works nights, and you connect with her, and you do all the paperwork. So you sign together. Well, he needs to sign as well, right? Does he feel super safe having his wife tell him where to sign? Maybe, but maybe not. So if you email him and just open up the PDF and hit record and be like, hey Jeff, I know when you get home tonight your wife already signed, so you're going to see she initialed here. You're going to do that, and that means this. And you're explaining it. Just be careful what you say because it's recorded. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. And then the other tool is this one called join.me, join.me. So who has a computer in the room that is hooked up to the internet? Okay, so go to joindan.ca.
Join Dan?
Yeah, www.joindan.ca. Don't do it on your phone because it's going to ask you to download that. So if you're on a computer, go ahead and do joindan.ca. So there I've already got one person. So if I open that up. So I have one person right now. Whoever that is, you can see my computer screen, right?
This page and apps.
So now two people can see this computer screen. So I can share my computer screen without those people having to go and register for a webinar. So on the fly, instantly, unless you're on like an iPad. Oh, you're on an iPad. That's not a computer. You tricked me. Okay. So on an iPad, it's going to have you do the app. But if most people are at home on a computer, I say, are you on a computer? They say, yeah. Okay, go to joindan.ca and they can see my computer screen. So I do like a virtual meeting and we'll log into the TREB or the MLS and set up their buyer profile together. Or we'll talk about the paperwork together. So it's a virtual way of you connecting with people instead of driving halfway across the city when you can do the same thing together. They just want to see what you're talking about.
How many people can you join
250.
at the same time?
Yep.
Oh.
I did all my webinars with it and it's free.
Wow.
So I used to run a buyer seminar, and I would do it online. And I didn't want people to have to register for two different things. I didn't want them to register for the form and then also register for the webinar. Back then, I had to do a two-step process, so I just did this. Because on the fly, I can just say, go to joindan.ca. And
But they can only see what's on your screen, they can't hear you?
no, they can hear it too. There's a calling number.
Okay.
Yeah, totally free. There is a paid version, like $130 a year. I pay for it. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason why I pay for it, but you guys can get away with the free version.
You wouldn't be able to have the static join Dan without that.
You could, because, yeah, no, you absolutely could, because it's joindan.ca, and it would just forward to whatever your URL
Is
is.
that URL always the same for that?
That's a good question. It might change.
Yeah, I think it's for the paid version it is.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so for the other people who have never, you'd be like, go to joindan.
Would TeamViewer work better?
I have the app, but how do I join you now?
Oh, if you have the app and it's open,
I just opened it up, I just found
okay, then you would hit the join meeting. It's usually
out.
green.
Meeting code?
Yeah, and my meeting code is Dan Wood Coaching, all one word. And your code is going to be different.
It also works with the watch.
What?
It's got an app for the watch.
That's crazy. Huh. So, and, so here, now I've got 6 people on this screen, but none of you had to go and register and like create an account with GoToWebinar, GoTo whatever. The other thing is I can switch screens, so I can hover over and I can hit past presenter role, and then it will switch my screen to your screen, and all of us will see your computer screen. So if I have to connect to them, I can, or I can share a mouse control and I can give them my mouse and keyboard and we can log into to whatever the issue is. It's brilliant. Like I honestly, so when I'm working buyer leads especially, and I gotta set them up on a prospect match anyways, I just say, hey, by any chance, you got a computer? And if they say, yeah, I'm like, great, because I want to set you up on all the listings that fit your criteria. I can show you the back end of the MLS and we'll set it up together. How's that sound? It's going to take like 5-10 minutes. While that's happening, I'm explaining to them, I'm like, look, I know you wanted finished basements, but look how many listings we're getting that are partially finished. So I don't want you to miss out. How about I show you these? And I know you want a duplex, but look at the ones that are in-law. So, and then I show the differences. So they take more ownership on the listings that they start to get because they set up the prospect match, not me. Because if I just set it up, they'd be like, oh, stupid realtor didn't listen to what I said. I want a finished basement and a duplex. Yeah.
You mentioned that you could also see my screen,
Yeah.
but it's the same screen.
Well, you're looking at everybody, these 8 people are all looking at my screen. So if I look at this Word document, everybody should be looking at that screen.
Yeah.
So say I want to see, all of us see your screen for some reason. I just like click your name and hit pass presenter role. Viewer 5 or whoever you are, pass presenter role, and then you would accept it, and then we would all see your screen.
I'd have to accept it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just thinking about somebody seeing my screen without knowing I'm seeing my screen.
Oh, you would know because you initiated. Yeah.
Just a question, like Chuck does his daily Milton Homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you set up a thing at like 3 o'clock every afternoon or 5 o'clock every afternoon to go through the new daily listings,
Yeah.
you could invite people in on this.
Yeah.
You could record it on one of your other systems.
It records for you.
It records
In the
for
paid
you.
version anyways, there's
So you could record it and post it for those who couldn't make the call.
yeah,
Or it could be
record.
like a 5 o'clock every day call for all those people who are.
Yep.
Interactive for the community, how cool is that?
Mhm.
Yeah, because a lot of people want to do like Google Hangouts or a lot of people want to do Skype, but not everybody's on both programs. And you got like 10 different people. Some of the people aren't on one or the other. Nobody needs anything for this. You just go to that URL and join me. So it's the best way for me to connect with groups of people. So I'm going to close that. You don't need.
So you could use that like Google Hangouts.
It is exactly like Google Hangouts.
That's seeing your screen, so
Yeah.
instead you switch to your camera.
Oh, it's not a video conferencing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more for sharing a screen, like looking at a PowerPoint, looking at something. It would never, I mean, if I really wanted to, I'd just open up a webcam and they would see it.
So you have them on the phone typically with the screen on.
Yeah, usually that's the easiest. But they have like hundreds of phone numbers and it's free. So if you're in Oshawa, it would be a 905 number and they just call a local 905 number. But then the Mississauga people would do like a 416 number.
To connect audio.
Yeah, and I just closed it so I can't show you, but it's a drop down and you just pick your area and then it shows you the phone number and you call in. Yeah, so they don't need like a microphone or nothing. It's this, I've been using it for years and I've only had 3 glitches. 3 times where I was like, oh man, that didn't work. But the rest of the time I use it daily. All my one-on-one coaching is with that. You join my screen and we look at your Facebook together or we look at your Google together.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay, so that was a rundown of my top tech tools. And if you missed all of the links, it doesn't matter because I typed it out for you. So bit.ly, bit.ly / real estate tools breaks down all of that for you with a description and a link to each to make it simple for you. So what time is break or lunch or whatever?
Okay,
The contest we're doing for social where you get like the free graphic design just to show you what they can do. I sent them on Evernote a message and said, can you turn this into a handout? Because I'm speaking for Priya next week. I'm like, can you make this into a handout? And that's basically the extent of the instruction I gave them. And they created this for me.
Whoa.
They do pretty good work to build a lot of this stuff. So like, in terms of like what if you hire, you win, we'll do something like this. You can just basically send us anything, tell us what you want. They do a really good job of making it.
Where'd that go to again?
This is Design Pickle. This is a company.
Design Pickle?
Pickle.
Pickle.
Yeah.
Design Pickle.
So basically, it's a company that I've hired that I pay a monthly fee of like $2,500 for the year, and I get unlimited graphic design from them. Basically it's like 4 guys in Phoenix who run a team of graphic designers in the Philippines. And so as long as you get your request into them by 6 p.m., they'll have it for you. They work on it overnight and have it to you in the morning.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good tool. So if you want that checklist, and then we'll also use that just to grab your emails to send the follow-up. So just text add checklist to that phone number, and then it'll ask you for your email. You reply to that text message with your email. It'll automatically send you the add checklist, and then we'll grab your emails and send it for the follow-up. Because we'll send a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today in a follow-up email, so you'll have it all in one spot.
And your 855 will take a text, eh?
Yep. So this is, I do that through lead pages, so I'll talk more about that later, but this is a tool that you guys can use for yourselves as well to do anything. It also works like if you want people to sign up for a newsletter or do anything like that, because like it's automatically going to send you the PDF attached to an email with the checklist on it, so it's a pretty cool little tool. And then my contacts information's there, but you can also get that later too. But let's get into it. Does everyone have it before I go to the next? Okay. So I'm new to this group. I know like a lot of you guys know Danny. Just a bit of background on me. I was an agent for a couple of years in Aurora, and then sold there for 2 years with Remax York Group and then Remax Hallmark when they got bought out. And then corporate Remax hired me to train their agents. So I was traveling around mostly Ontario, Atlantic Canada, but then I was also speaking in the States, training agents on all things digital. And then actually a year ago yesterday, I launched my company doing all this for agents. Because like every time I was training, people just come up and ask to hire me to do it for them. So you only hear that so many times until you decide to do a business there. So yeah, so you guys good with this for now? I can put it up back during lunch too.
Just snap a picture of it.
That works in the back. Pardon?
I sent it, and I got nothing.
I got some.
Mine said identifier not recognized.
Did you put your email on?
Did you type in add checklist?
And we'll just collect business cards, that'll have everybody's.
It should. I know it's worked for a few people because I've been getting email notifications saying that it's working.
Well, mine work.
It is working. It's
Alright.
the people trying.
User error?
Operator error.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the ad funnel today. Yeah, you can still see it. Let's move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay. So kind of like this one, it's a little bit more theory. After this, we'll get more hands-on. I'm actually like walking through the entire thing so you can see how it's done. Like we'll actually go into Facebook ads and Google and build them and build a landing page. First, kind of want to explain what we're doing a bit. Today, we're mostly talking about from here over. And this is more like the follow-up process, which is like, you could do a whole other couple days on that. But we'll talk a bit of, I think Danny has a bit on the follow-up as well. You still, yeah? Okay, so basically, the online lead funnel, when you're trying to get leads, you have to plan out the steps, because if one part's broken, then none of it's going to work. So you want to make sure you have all the steps planned out ahead of time. So the first thing you have to do is obviously have to find a way to attract them to your site. So your website's basically going to be the hub of what you're doing online. So like everything you do on social media, one of the ultimate end goals will be to get them over to your website and off.
Can I ask a quick question? I probably missed it when I was out. What are you teaching?
So right now we're just talking about like the funnel, how to set up a funnel for digital marketing. So like when you're trying to get leads online,
Okay.
the funnel to actually get their contact information. So the easiest way to get their contact information is using some of these methods here. The first one, and it's the easiest one, and it's the method that you pay for, is you just grab a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is just something that's attracting them to leave their contact information in exchange for it. You can, like, easy ones are like a first-time home buyer guide, a move-up guide, how to sell your home guide, get a list of bungalows for sale in your area, get a list of condos for sale in your area. Something simple that they just need to opt in, leave their contact information, and they get it. If they can get it right away, even better, but that's what it is. Just something that's attracting them to leave their contact information in exchange, yeah.
Are we going to have access to all your slides?
So this is just this slide, but in the follow-up email I send, I'll send it off.
Okay, so we don't need to be.
No. And then, yeah, if you like add me on Facebook and have questions too, you can always reach out. Yeah.
Do you have any recommendation about graphically, like which images are most powerful to do that?
Yeah, so when we're actually building them, so like after we talk about this, we'll actually go through and build an entire campaign. So like I'll do the Facebook ads on the landing page, Danny will do the Google ads, and we'll actually build it and put it up live by the end. So we'll show you how to do it all. So yeah, so start with the lead magnet, and then that you're going to want to have a nice ad, drives them to a landing page. You'll hear the term landing page a lot, and there's a lot of other terms people use like squeeze pages. It's one of those things like all landing pages, just any page someone lands on your site. It's a very simple thing. There's a lot of different versions of it. A squeeze page, when you talk about that, is a form of a landing page. A squeeze page, all it is when someone lands on it, the only option is to fill out their information and hit submit so that you get the lead. and there's nothing else for them to do. Because if they land on like your home page, there's like 10 different links. There's like the home, the about, buyers, sellers, search listings, all that. Those are all opportunities for them to go away from something. So if you're paying for an ad, sending them to a landing page, and they can now click off and go somewhere else, those are all lost opportunities because they probably won't come back to that page and opt in. So when you're paying for an ad, it's great to send them to a squeeze page because then their only option. So for instance, if you're doing a home evaluation, you get to the page, their only option is to fill out their address, fill out their contact information, and hit submit. There's no other links to other parts of your website or anything like that. It's just that page there to collect their information. So a lot of times when I'm doing paid ads, that's what it's going to, is a squeeze page where the only option is to get their information or leave. And then if they try to leave, sometimes it depends on the type of campaign I'm running. I'll even set it up so if their mouse starts to go off the screen, a pop-up will come up and say, are you sure you want to leave? You can go back and fill this out. So just a way to increase pop-ups. But it really depends on the type of campaign you're running if you want to have that. Like on my own website, I don't necessarily have that as much, but it really depends on what you want to run. And then obviously there's search engines, so being found on search engines lands to a landing page. Like on my blog when I was selling, the majority of my traffic never went through my homepage. Everything went to individual blog posts. I'm sure you can attest to that as well. Majority will not ever touch your homepage. If you're doing a content marketing strategy right. Like for me, my most popular post that drove the most traffic, I mainly had 3. My most popular, all it was called was "What is a bully offer?" And I just explained like a short version so they could quickly get the answer, and then a long form version after that of like breaking it down, like basically telling the story of what a bully offer would be. That was one of my most popular posts on my website. After that, it was schools. Everybody wanted to know about schools, so I'd take and write 1,000, 1,500 words about each school in our area, and really go in depth about like everything, the extracurricular activities, what the teaching philosophies are, like interview the principal, everything you can think of about that school, put it there. And then I do that for each one in the area, and at the bottom, if you want to buy a home in this school district, click here. And then that's an opportunity to click the lead again, see what homes are available in the school district, have that at the bottom. That drives a lot of traffic because what happens is anytime someone wants to move, especially with children of a young age, they're thinking, what schools am I going to send to before they're thinking about a home? They're thinking about schools first. So because like what happens like with Realtor.ca is someone will open up 5 tabs, click submit on all of them. Well, now you're competing probably with 5 different agents for that lead. Whereas when you're doing it this way, where you have information on school before they even looked at homes, you're probably the only agent they're going to contact a lot of the time. So doing it this way, really effective. So but up here, I might do it a little differently. I talk more about recreational stuff because it's not as much about schools here. So you got to think about in your area, what is that information that's like schools that's important to your demographic that you're targeting, and then write articles about that to get them on your site. And then you just have to strategically place the call to actions, but make them really simple too. What some people overcomplicate with a lot of these lead gen platforms is they ask for everything on the first go. So I would just have opt into my newsletter and just get the email address. Other people ask name, email, phone number, are you working with an agent, how long till you buy, are you currently renting or owning? Oh, that turns a lot of people off. Really what you want to do is get them into the funnel and then start that process right there. So maybe on the next one, you have another offer. That offer, they need to leave their phone number or their name. And then you slowly build up from there. You don't ask for everything at once, so they're not going to give it to you. You kind of slowly work up to that. And then yes, blog will get you on the search engine, and then same with social media. That's going to drive traffic back to your landing page, and that's what everything you should be focused on is how can I drive traffic back to my site. And you especially want to build up your site because if say you just did, I'm not going to have a website, I'm going to do everything on Facebook. The problem with that is that you don't own it. Facebook could make a change tomorrow and you lose everything. I know a guy who runs a 7-figure business on Facebook, and it was a really bad joke, but he put a pretty offensive joke up, and Facebook shut his account down for 14 days and said, if you do it again, you're off permanently. And so if he would have lost a 7-figure business overnight because of that, right? And Facebook has complete control over that, he doesn't. So that's why I would rather have a website that you own. So if something happens, say you lost access to Facebook somehow, or they change and it killed what you're doing on there, you still have this. You can go on Twitter now and start working that, or Snapchat or Instagram, something like that. So I'd always use your website as the hub. And then it comes to your landing page, and we'll actually go through building them, and we'll give you a few different tools you can build with. But your landing page, you want to make sure, especially if you're doing an ad, it matches it. So if you're running a landing page for the free home evaluation, if it says get a free home evaluation, your ad has to say get a free home evaluation. If your page says what is your home worth, then the ad says what is your home worth. Keep the language consistent or you'll find a really high bounce rate. What a bounce rate is just someone comes to your page and then leaves right away. The quicker they leave, it actually downgrades you. So like for Facebook, for example, Facebook actually tracks how long someone goes to your site when they click on an ad. If they find that most people are clicking on your ad, going to your page and coming back in under 5 seconds, they say it's an irrelevant ad, or they're going to give it a really low score, it's going to cost you more money to get it out to less people. If they find people are going to it, staying there for longer, and consuming your content, they're going to charge you less money and show it to more people.
Wow.
So you really want to make sure it's a good thing that they're coming to. Just, yeah?
How does that go if you're just driving to a page where they're just going to put in their email address, how long are they supposed to stay there?
So, well, they can also set up, so like those ones where it's very quick, where all I'm doing is I want the email address quickly, I set it up as a conversion. So they actually, I get charged per conversion that I get. So basically what happens is you embed a code on the thank you page, and anytime someone hits there, that's when I get charged. So it's basically you have to go through that method with Facebook of setting up as a conversion. But then they'll basically test too and see what they think makes sense. But they even know to an extent if someone's clicking through. But they know if they're there for 3 seconds, they're not just, leaving their email and coming back in under 3 seconds.
So idea for leveraging through this group. So if we tell each other who our competitor is, we go onto their ad, and we all go and bounce really quickly.
Now, if someone's doing their ad right, you should never even see it. That's the other thing, like, you can set up your ads pretty well to exclude most real estate agents. Like, I was seeing an agent in Toronto and I saw his page, and on his paid ad that it was going to me, I think it was, he had 60 likes on it, and I went through the list, and it was over 40 of them where there's other agents.
Yeah.
And like that, it's not valuable to him, like, unless he was trying to build a referral network, but it was in Toronto, and it was all Toronto-based agent. I'm like, it's not going to happen. You had bad targeting. It was all like your friends from your office and the regional office that were liking it. So they're right, and I'll show you a few steps when we're building out how to exclude agents, besides just putting in job titles, because that really doesn't work that well, and it's a pain in the butt to do it that way. So we'll show you some different ways to do it. Then you get them to opt in. Like I was mentioning, you want to make sure you keep it to just the information you need for that one. If you start asking for too much information, you're dropped down. Like the amount of people opting in is going to go down a lot. But you also want to look at how well do you convert on different tools. So I have one client who's amazing on the phone, terrible over email. Like he doesn't even have 90% of his past clients' email addresses, doesn't even bother to get them, but he's amazing on the phone. He'll convert way more than most people have ever met on the phone. So what we do is we get him less leads, but we include a phone number with them. Yeah?
How many people here actually use landing pages? So not a lot. So maybe just before you go on, so that people can envision this, can you maybe give 5 or 6 examples of how you might use a landing page for what purpose?
Yeah, so I can show you quickly 1, 2. Actually, I know I gotta find the right folder. I guess I can search.
While Andrew's doing that, we have an agent up here who has started using landing pages the way builders do. You know how builders have coming soon, register here for information on our grand opening. And so this realtor's doing register here for information when the property's listed or on the open house or whatever.
So I did one the other day for a client of mine, an exclusive listing. It was coming on the market Monday. So it was, and the photographer was actually in the process of getting the photos, editing them all. So we just did an ad, we spent $50 on it, and we just said, we're currently getting this ready. This house is an exclusive listing right now. We're getting it ready for the market. It's going to go live on the MLS on this date on Monday. Click here to get more details and photos. And when you go onto the page, it says, our photographer is currently getting it ready. Click here and we'll email you all the photos when we get them. And we got 18 people to opt in for $50.
Yeah,
So that was a pretty good lead, very simple to do. Took for me to set it up from the time she sent me the info was about 40 minutes until it was live on Facebook and going. So it's relatively easy once you kind of get a hang of it and you have some tools like lead pages. Like lead pages for me, this is one that I built really fast. Like one like this, I could build in under 5 minutes now. And it's just be quick, you get a graphic here. So like this is what actually one of the things I use Design Pickle for is every time a client comes to me and says, I have this ebook or this resource, can you create a graphic? I just send them, hey, create an ebook cover for this, change the image out here, change a few of the points here about the actual giveaway we have, and then the only thing they can do is click on yes, send me the free guide.
So wouldn't that actually be a squeeze page? Because you're doing
Yeah, this is a
Easy
squeeze page. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like literally all they do is they click on here, and so it's already filled out some of the information automatically because that's what my Chrome does because it saves all my info. So it actually, that's one of the nice things with lead pages is you can set it up so to teach places like Google Chrome, if people have their info saved in it, to automatically pre-populate for them.
Oh, I like that.
And then that way it cuts down on more time. So you can see here, now this is a fake one I had set up when I was doing a test, so obviously I'm not Billy Noonan. But that's all it is. This pops up, they put in their information, yes, send me the guide. Just like the ad checklist, they automatically get emailed the guide, I get a notification that they're there. It can also be set up to go right into your CRM, things like that, and start automatically your drip campaigns if you have those. So there's a lot of different things you can do there. And you can set it up for the double option to make sure you're CASA compliant and all that. It really kind of very flexible depending on how you want to do it. And then yeah, I just have a quick little message from him, and then this is where all like the RICO requirement stuff would go as well, and then make sure all that is there. Another example would be home evaluation one. Really simple one, and what I found doing is it used to put like big letters here with a logo, so I put like their logo here, get a free home evaluation. What we changed is most people come to this via their phone, because you can track on people, but when it comes with their phone and they have a logo here, that takes up 3/4 of the screen. Most people don't end up scrolling until the bounce rate was higher. So we removed it all together and then switched it to say selling your home, because a lot of the people who were opting in then were just curious about their home value, actually had no plan to sell. So by now leading with the thing, are you selling your home? Get a free home evaluation if you are. That opted in, and we got more serious people opting in. We got less, but the people who were a little bit better because we're very clear about this is something we're doing if you're planning on selling your home. So we're really upfront about it. And then when you click on like get my house value now, then we're going to say get a custom report that we're going to send you after we make it. Because what a lot of people do too, if you don't say that you're physically building it yourself, they're expecting you to hit that button and it automatically flips an automated number at them, like a Zestimate in the States. So you'll get people who are upset because they're expecting that quick thing instead of one custom from you. So just make your language very clear with something like that to tell them this is something custom coming from me. And then there's another example. So this climbs obviously in Carson City, but buying your area. This one I found is actually a really high performing one for me. Really simple to the point, and like you go down, and there actually is quite a bit of like to read how the program works, but they just come in and we have the countdown. All I do with this is I just pick a date, make a comment about it, and then add it in. So in the spring it's, buy before the busy spring market, get in before the summer, and I just change the date because that countdown I found has really increased my conversion rate. A little note about the color, don't change it if you're going to do something like this. Orange has been found to be one of the best converting colors on landing pages. For instance, I had a client whose color was pink and she wanted the page to be related to her color. So I grabbed her brand pink color code, changed it to this. I went from an 8% opt-in rate to 0 just by changing the background color.
Wow.
So obviously I'm back to orange now. So you can always test, test it maybe with a green or something like that. You're welcome to do that. But consistently I found, and this is what other people have found too, is that orange for some reason, I have no idea the reasoning behind it, is one of the best converting colors online.
Because it's for sale. When you see orange in any store as a shopper, as a woman, the orange tag means it's on sale.
Might be it then. It could be as simple as that. But I've noticed it does work really, really well for converting when you're using some orange on it. And there's other places you can use that orange as well, which I can show you later. So landing pages are really simple like that. So like for instance, this one also has 2 opt-in buttons. So we'll have the one at the top, get started now, then explains how the whole service they're signing up for works. And then we ask them again, both these buttons go to the exact same place, they offer the exact same option. You can set them up to have different ones. So for instance, one of my clients, we had a really successful campaign where the landing page was, we have buyers in your area looking for a home. Have you thought about selling? And then click here to learn about what they're looking for. And then it was like, you know, here would have been one page, a description would be like the client's name, first name only. So if it was a couple, it'd be like the husband and wife's name and not their last name. Rough budget, roughly what they're looking for, and then I click here if you have a home that meets their needs. And then it'd be the next client, same thing, the next client. So we had about 5 or 6 there, breaking down what each client wanted, and we got several leads from that as well, people looking to sell their home that thought it would work for them. Especially in this market now, that can work really well. So that one did well for us. It's coming soon for us, especially with landing pages. That one's worked really, really well, as long as you're upfront about it and doing it the right way, but it has worked really well. Then once you get them to opt in, that's where a lot of people just seem to stop. That's really where you want to make sure you have a thank you page too. A thank you page is huge on these because it gives you that next step of what you want to do. So what I use the thank you page for one is to tell them what to expect now. So if it's a free home evaluation, I remind them, you know, we're going to get this to you either in 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever the time frame you want to promise them is, and tell them, you know, if you don't see it, you know, check in your spam folder. Then we also add in there, especially if we didn't ask for a phone number before, we'll say, do you want immediate help selling your home? Click here. And now it's another call to action for more immediate leads. So people who fill out that next lead on the thank you page, it's a much more serious lead a lot of the time, because now they're supposed to be saying, yes, I want you to call me, here's my phone number, let's start talking right away. So I use the thank you page as yet another way to try and generate more leads from that individual one. And then what I'll also do sometimes, put more information about me or the specific agent that's on it, and build trust about who you are a bit, a little bit more information. At the very least, redirect them back to your home page on your website or somewhere. Because like say you're using lead pages, which is the tool I'll show you later, if you don't change the thank you page, all it does is show a green check mark on the bit, like full screen green check mark saying thanks for opting in. This page designed by lead pages. So if you don't change it, that's all you're going to see when you can use it to get more information from people, tell them what to expect next, and then once you have that thank you page, then you can figure out what to do next. Like obviously now the follow-up process comes. Another thing on your thank you page, ask them to share it. So and lead pages has it built in, or they'll have like a Facebook, Twitter, and a Pinterest button where if they click it, it's one of those ones that automatically pops up like a pre-written share button, so it like logs into their Facebook and they can share it straight. So ask them to share your offer for them. You know, do you have any friends interested in this? Quick way to share topics for them. Really easy to do. And then we'll kind of get into here where it's, you have your email sequencing for follow-up, your drip campaigns, stuff like that, and then getting them to the appointment. But everything you're doing obviously is going to be leading towards that in-person appointment. It's just how you're going to actually set it all up. So like as an example, if I wrote a blog post about a school, I'm going to take the blog post about the school here, and I'm going to run a Facebook ad for that to people with kids between, say, the ages of 3 and 7, living within that area, but outside that one specific school district. Get them to my landing page about it, opt into an offer for finding homes for sale in that area, send them to the thank you page, and then I'm going to send them the list of schools, and then I'm going to start the follow-up process. Depending on when they're ready to move, they're either going to go here to try and get that in person, or they're going to go down one of my other avenues of let's now stay in touch with them for a while until we get to that in-person appointment. So you want to make sure like everyone you plan out the entire way. So before you start building, make that stuff, okay, here's the initial one that's going to attract them, here's the thank you page, here's the information you get to opt in with, send them the thank you, and then what's going to happen next. So you want to make sure you have all that planned out before you start actually building it.
So that would be start with why.
Yeah, exactly. You really want to make sure that this is planned out. If you're not planning it out, your ad results are going to be terrible most of the time. You get lucky sometimes, you can hit one out of the park, just willy-nilly throwing something up there. But for the most part, if you take that time, and especially, and you'll see it on the ad checklist that I send you, the entire first page is just about filling out information about who you're kind of called the avatar, who the avatar of your ideal client is that you're targeting with that one. So like the school one, I'm going to target people who are married, parents, and I'm going to choose the age of the children, what area they live in. And you want, when you're running that ad to go out, like I try to make them all under 10,000 people are being targeted by my ad. Like I actually would try to even go lower sometimes to about 4,000 or 5,000. If it's over like 25,000, I always then try to change it even more to try and get it back lower again. Because if you're targeting too many people, your budget's not going to go as far. You want it to be as relevant as you can. So like an example, I used to do first-time homebuyer seminars when I was selling that always got me a few deals every time I ran one. And what worked really well about those is I'd run 2 sets of ads. One to people who are between, say, like 25 and 35 saying, do you want to buy your first home? Come out to my first-time homebuyer seminar. Then I ran one to their parents saying, want to get your kid out of the basement, send them to my first-time homebuyer seminar. So different
And stop
message,
feeding
way
them
more
cheese.
effective. Yeah, really effective one because it's highly relevant to that person.
Stop doing your kids' laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think?
Whereas if otherwise I did it the other way, where just the same ad out to everyone, especially all the parents, they're not going to care about that. So like, and you can specifically target people over 50 with adult children. Really easy to do in the targeting, and now it's a really highly relevant message to them as well. So, pretty easy tool to use there. We have 20. Dan, do you want to do your Facebook part, and then we'll go into actually building the ad after?
They'll tell you right after it gets off the phone.
Okay. You want to do your Facebook part?
What I learned this morning is don't check your voicemail at the back of the room whenever
Always.
So I'm going to go a little deeper on the Facebook than I kind of touched on a few things this morning on tools that we could use to advertise on Facebook and whatnot. Now I'm going to go through the different scenarios that you could actually target people on Facebook with and how we drive people to specific landing pages. And you have a question?
I do, and it's just been burning.
Cool.
Should you have 2 Facebook pages, a personal and a professional, or just one will do?
If you're going to run ads on Facebook, you need to. So if you're going to do any paid advertising, you absolutely, is not a question, you have to have 2. You need your personal one that you log in with, and you need the business one that you run the ads through.
Would that be your fan page, or you're meaning a separate business page?
No, fan page.
Okay.
Fan page, business page, there's like a million terms for the same stuff.
For what it's worth, Dan, can you share your screen with us?
Can I adjust it, but can I what?
Can you share that screen with us? The join me, can you do the join me with this presentation?
Yeah, is there somebody that wants to join it?
No, there's somebody still on.
It's being recorded.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I pre-recorded, I got a video of it.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, good,
That's
yes.
good. That works.
So we did a thing where we were driving leads with Google and with Facebook, and in the last 16 months we got 14,000 leads using just Google and Facebook.
Wow.
And so the other platforms definitely work. Like there's always a time and place to advertise on Pinterest, there's always a time and place to advertise on LinkedIn, but for you guys I'm going to say the only time and place is on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where the eyeballs are, that's where the people hang out, and that's where advertising is really effective. The other places work as well, but these are all that 14,000 came from just Google and Facebook.
Which one was stronger?
Okay, Facebook gives you a bigger run at the beginning, and over time I would put my money on Google. Because Google, those people are going out of their way and they're typing into the Google search bar what they're looking for. So those people are kind of pre-qualifying themselves. Whereas Facebook, they should be working, not looking at Facebook. Or they should be doing, nobody should really be on Facebook. So they're already wasting time and not doing whatever is important in their life unless Facebook is, and they just saw an ad and clicked on it. They weren't even searching that at that moment. So it's kind of like connecting with people that aren't even thinking about it, and they're just kind of curious and kicking tires, like, oh, what's my house value worth now? Because I keep hearing people talk about it. So I would probably put, Google won't get you as much at the beginning, Facebook will give you more, but Google over the long haul I'd say is probably better because they're vetting themselves without you having to worry about it. Now when we hit the break time, Zan, just cut me so that you guys do your break, and then I'll just go back in right after, so right in 20 minutes. And budgets is $150 per month per platform. So at the minimum, if you want to be on Facebook and you're thinking I want to start advertising monthly, the minimum really is $5 a day, which is $150 a month. So then if you're like, I also want to be on Google, that's going to be another $150 a month. So 150 is kind of like the starting point for any platform that we go to. That's a rough rule of thumb, and the more you spend, the better. But you always have to play red light, green light. So I drove people to our website. So I'm going to talk about landing pages, and I'm going to show you an example of what a landing page is and the elements that we have. And I don't want you to get confused thinking you have to run out and buy something new. You probably already have your own website, and if you have your own website, you can make a blog usually. And if you can do that, then you can make your own landing pages now without paying anything more. So what is a landing page? A landing page is dedicated to one topic. So it can be a blog, or it can be a new page on your website. So there's lead pages, landing pages, squeeze pages. They're all different terms. It's basically you're driving people to one source of content that talks about one thing that you know is going to relate to them, and you have a call to action. If you were to do an ad for Ottawa house values, you wouldn't send them right to your homepage, www.ottawarealestate.com. You would send them to ottawarealestate.com/house values. Because you know those people are interested in house values because they Google search house values, so you want to channel them to the right direction. So because you know they're looking at house values, on that house value page, you're only talking about house values. You're not talking about townhouses for sale and your buyer seminars and stuff like that. So talk about one thing and one thing only. What makes a good landing page? It really has to be mobile friendly. So if you are going to do any paid advertising anytime, always send the link to yourself, either email it to yourself, Facebook message it to yourself, whatever. That way you can click the link and open it and just make sure it actually works and looks good on your phone. Because if it is like a full website and they have to zoom in and fill in the form, they're not going to do it. So it has to be mobile friendly. It has to have a clear call to action, talking about that one thing and one thing only, and topic specific. So I'll show you a couple examples coming up. Now, landing pages, what elements should you have? You definitely need a contact capture form, like name, phone number, email, address. Those are like the main criteria. On your house value form, you're probably asking a million questions, like the age, the square footage, are you working with a realtor? Like those are all drop downs and check boxes that you guys have. The more you have, the less you're going to get. So remove all of that and put a description box at the top that says, tell me about your property, or tell me what you're looking for. And then their own words, let them either tell you a novel or just say condo. At least you're getting them to hit the submit button. But so it doesn't make sense to have all those drop downs. The other thing is, if you add like a drop down and then a drop down, and it creates this whole long form that you actually have to scroll down below the page to see it, you guys don't even fill them out. It's like you're filling in a birth certificate. It's just too much info. So less is more. So you definitely need a contact capture form. The title, headline, and all content talks about that one thing and one thing only, because it's a landing page. You already know if people go to this page, this is what they're interested in. And a video if possible. Years ago was when I implemented video, and you drive traffic to your website, and you got the traffic. If you take that traffic and just increase the conversion, there's no cost. But driving the traffic, there is a cost. The biggest thing that we did to increase conversion was adding video. So we know the landing page is going to be about house values, so I'll just make a video. I'll even just like on my own phone. If you're ever doing video on your phone, never record like this. Always record like this. So get in the habit, because I know people still do this. So always get in the habit of doing that. Maybe even putting it like on a flat surface. Hit record and say, hey there, are you looking for the house values in the Durham region? Well, we update them every day. And in Oshawa, Whitby, Pickering, Ajax, Bowmanville, Brooklyn, we have the updated reports on all the different neighborhoods. So just type in what neighborhood you're in, your address, your contact information, and we're going to get that to you. Boom. Make a simple little description video of what they're going to get, why they're on that page, and why they should fill in the form. And a map reinforcing that it's local. We're a visual society, and we don't remember names, but we remember faces. Same thing with like when you land on a page and there's a whole lot of information, people are trying to, their like reptile brain is trying to filter it out as quickly as possible to see if it's a threat. As soon as they see a map of their area, at least they feel that one step closer, that they're finding the information in the area that they're looking for. It doesn't have to be an interactive map with all the listings popping up. It just has to be a map of the city. Because as soon as they see the map, that's like that's like the facial recognition. Right away, they're going to see the map, and then they're going to stay longer and then digest the rest of the information that you want them to see. So the map is really important, in my opinion, but you don't have to. This is an example. Those 14,000 leads all came from this exact landing page. We would just reskin it with a different map and different words, but it was the same visual that we used over and over. So up at the very top left, because our society reads left to right, top to bottom, so I don't put a picture of my face there. I put a picture of what I knew they were searching on Google, townhomes for sale, in this case. Because that's the first thing I want them to see. As soon as they read townhomes for sale and then see the map of the city, they're like, oh, townhome, this is exactly what I'm searching for, perfect. Because I know what they're searching for because they just told Google, so I'm just connecting the dots. So I put a flat map of the city. The contact capture form, it's name, phone number, email, and Andrew was explaining the differences. If you don't put phone number, you'll get more, vice versa. And you notice we don't have, are you working with a realtor? I don't care if they're working with a realtor. I have to find out on the phone with them. Square footage and age, you guys don't even list that on the MLS unless it's a new property because you don't want to get sued, so don't even ask that. So get rid of all that stuff and just let them describe in their own words. I've had some people where I'm like, oh my God, that's like 7 paragraphs. Unbelievable. And then other people just put 1 word. But at least they hit the submit button. So keep it real simple. One thing that I don't have on, I don't point out on this screen, but down below I put the realtor's name, all their RICO information, and then all their contact info. So their name, their phone number, and their email. Because a lot of people won't want to fill in the form, but they'll click the button. Say call or text me at this number, and the number is like blue so that they can hit the button. So put your contact info. I mean, some people don't want to fill in the form because they've been trained by realtors that when they do, they're going to get put on auto crap trips. But wouldn't it be nice to still have a conversation with people? So I still put all my contact info for real with your photo and everything. That's where we put the video. So we put the map there and then a video on the right. We use animated videos, but it doesn't matter. Just use like your own video of you from your phone. We put a little bit of content, so because I know they're coming from Google and I knew that they were searching townhomes for sale, what were the other keywords that the people were searching? Freehold townhouses, because there's a difference, but they same category. Luxury townhomes and condo townhomes. So townhomes for sale and condo townhomes, those are like the main words that I know they're searching. So I just put it on there because it looks like content that relates to what they're searching. Now Google doesn't like keyword stuffing. So if your whole website was just like keyword stuffing, that's a no-no. But here, I just kind of put the bullet points here, and we haven't had our hand slapped. It's been working for us for years. So as long as you don't have more than like 3 or 4 of them, and we just put it so it actually looks like how they would search on Google.
Now, are those live hyperlinks or?
No, they just look like it. I just made it blue with an underline. And if it was a live hyperlink, I would just relink it to the same page so it reloads and reloads.
Now, what program are you using to lay out the format?
So this is just a blog on our website. So you could use, what's your website?
Agent Locator.
Oh, you can do this with Agent Locator. Yep. So you could use your blog, you could use your website. WordPress for sure. Yeah, because all those programs, you can like type whatever you want. You can add photos, you can add video, right? You just have to have all those elements. It's just talking about one thing. And I have a call to action that says, don't miss out on tomorrow's new listings. See the listings and get alerted when new ones match your criteria. You'll see we put a picture. It looks like a topographical map, and it has the word that we're searching, that they're searching, so freehold condo townhomes. A lot of agents, what they do is they just Google search like townhome, and then they'll put that picture on their website, and it's like got a palm tree in the background. Like it's not even related to the area that you serve. So in my area, Durham region, North Oshawa is really different than South Oshawa, so townhomes in the 2 areas totally look differently. So even if I made it local and using local style, yeah, I'm not going to appease everybody, but I'm going to try and track everybody in Durham who's doing those searches. So instead of putting a picture, I just put, instead of putting a picture of the townhouses, I put a picture of like the area with the word written over top, and that's the image, and that'll appease everyone. Then we would rinse and repeat. So we took that same formula and we would just change. So instead of townhomes for sale, bungalows for sale. And we would be all about bungalows, and we would talk about bungalows. And then we would say semi for sale. and in-law apartments for sale, and investments for sale. And so we would rinse and repeat, but it's the same style. And once you find something that works for you, you might as well just keep it. Because the people who are searching the townhomes, they're not searching the bungalows, so they're not going to see the ads anyway, so it doesn't matter if it looks the same. So we rinse and repeat. So we would do it for house values, and open houses is a big one. You don't actually have to do open houses, but you should definitely be advertising for the open houses, because of all the buyer leads that you could pay for, those people are hopping in a car this weekend. So it makes the most sense of any budget that you put into online marketing. I would say open houses is a key one, because they're hopping in the car this weekend, they're looking to go. So I would put more money into open houses, and to have them land on a landing page, just when they fill in the form, have it auto reply with all the open houses this weekend, and you run the ad from Monday to Thursday, and you don't run it on the weekend. That way you connect with them during the week before they get into the car. And then when they're actually going through all those open houses, they're going to be like, nope, got a realtor, because they talked to us during the week. So I don't even have to do the open houses. I just have to run the ads weekdays from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock or whenever I want. And I would just have an auto reply. So every week we would just update the link and send it.
And those are other agents' open houses?
Yeah, I don't care. They're already going to the other agents' open houses anyways. Yeah. Okay, so then buyer seminars, obviously that one worked out really good for us. For FSBOs is an interesting one. So created a landing page for FSBOs, for sale by owners, and what we do is go to Craigslist and Kijiji. And if you go to Craigslist, you would go to Durham region, or whatever your city is, homes for sale by owner. And it gives you a list of all the for sale by owners. Every day it will be a new list of these for sale by owners. So on Craigslist and Kijiji, you could email them, or if they're a FSBO, they really should have a phone number so you can call. So you would call them, and we would call the FSBO and say, hey Joey FSBO, I noticed your home's for sale and you're marketing it yourself, and I am a realtor, but unlike all the other realtors who are trying to list your property, I wanted to see if I could help you on the buying end. See, as a buyer agent, you don't pay our fees, and I can start off by emailing you all the homes that fit your criteria and at least help you with the information gathering. How's that sound? A good start? That's like hardly any objection handling at all. You're not trying to get the listing, you're just trying to work the relationship. And oh, by the way, if you want a second opinion on the value of your home, obviously we can help you with that. So it's a real easy conversation, and every day Craigslist and Kijiji is going to show you all the new FSBOs. So I call the FSBO, he doesn't answer the phone. So then over on the right of Craigslist and Kijiji, I would fill in the form and I would just send him to my landing page, and it has the video of me saying, hey, we got this new service for all the FSBOs in Durham region. As a buyer agent, you don't pay our fees, and we want to help you out. If you want a second opinion on the value of your home, just fill it in below, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing as what I would have said to him live. But now we're just driving people through Craigslist and Kijiji, and Craigslist and Kijiji allows you to set up an alert. So when you're on that page, you can set up an alert whenever there's a new listing that matches that, like, for sale, your city, by owner. It'll email you every day, so you don't even have to go to Craigslist or Kijiji to check. You could just, in your email, that's your new prospecting list that day. New listings, you would want to create a landing page for a brand new listing, especially in this market. If you get a home and you put it on the market for sale, you'll notice if you type in the address and real estate or address and for sale, a lot of the franchises come ahead of you, maybe because of Google ranking or a whole bunch of different reasons. Like, how many of you have been outranked by somebody else and it's your own listing? All hands go up. I know. It's so infuriating. So if you did an exclusive listing for a week, you'd be the only person marketing that address for 1 week. So then you do a Google form, which is free and it's in the Google system, and market it on there, and then guess who's going to be coming up ahead when people do the search? You are. So you've got a week head start. It's a strong head start, but a week length of time. 7 days.
All it takes to sell a house.
Yeah, exactly. So do an exclusive listing. It doesn't even have to go on the MLS. Just put it on a Google form with the photos of the property, the description, and a contact form. And underneath that, all of your contact info. Bungalows, really good one. If a person goes to the MLS.ca and they search for bungalows, what are they finding? Everything that's a freehold property. They're finding all the 2 stories, they're finding back splits, they're finding side splits. So if you did it, and so they get frustrated and they're like, well fine, Google search Oshawa bungalows for sale. They're not finding it, so they would find, what they would get is a page that looks like this, and it would say Oshawa bungalows for sale and a map, and they're like, oh yes, finally found it. Because they've been searching for weeks and they can't. So you would have a video, and I would have a video, and I'd be like, hey, are you looking for bungalows for sale in Oshawa? It's really hard if you just go to the MLS, because you're going to get all the detached properties and all the back splits and side splits. So if you're looking for a property in Oshawa, just let us know below, and we'll get it to you. It's going to be real easy. So that would be a video right there. So there's a couple other examples. I'm going to email you guys this like PowerPoint so you have the examples that we go through.
Awesome.
So you don't have to stress about it. SumoMe is one of the apps that I cover in the app section, but I skipped it this morning because I knew we were going to talk about it right now. And SumoMe is the company. It's different than AppSumo, so don't get confused. SumoMe, oh, it's actually the same company.
Yeah.
Now I'm really confusing it. Anyways, if you Google search SumoMe, they have a product called the List Builder. So SumoMe company, their product, the List Builder. If you've ever been on Facebook and clicked a link because you saw a video that you wanted to watch, as soon as you click that and you go onto the website, have you ever been there and before you can scroll up, down, watch a video, it instantly pops open and says like our page
Yeah.
or give us your email?
Yeah.
Really annoying. We all hate it. Nobody likes it. But what happens here is it will only pop open, it pops open, only when a person goes to hit the X button, the back button, or change the URL. So it's got a rule that it will only pop open when they're already leaving. So you might as well. Who cares? They're on their way out the door anyways. And we get 8%. Guaranteed. Every week. Yep. I've not, so it ranges between 7 and like 11%. So I'm going to say 8% consistently. If I get 100 people to my website this week, 8 of them are going to fill in this form. And these were the 8 people that didn't fill in the form on the website. They were leaving. They were on their way out the door.
Wow.
You can create rules for on our seller page, pop open with our seller book. On our buyer page, pop open with the buyer book. So you can create different pop-ups based on the URL that they're on. It's $20 a month, and it's not going to get you traffic. So if you don't have any traffic, you don't even need to write this down because it's not going to help you because you got nobody popping open. But if you do have traffic on your website, it's going to get you 8%. I can almost guarantee it. At least it did in my case. So
10, we're,
on time?
yeah, we're getting
Perfect.
right
Okay,
now.
so what's this, lunch?